Good morning, and welcome to episode 249 of Getting Rich. I'm your host, Rich Checkin, president of Asset Strategies International, and today is Wednesday, November 5th, 2025. Greetings this morning from beautiful New Orleans, Louisiana. I am down here with Brian Zweig, our sales manager for the 51st annual New Orleans Investment Conference. For those of you who are unfamiliar, this conference started in the 70s by James U. Blanchard III. He was the spearhead, the point of that spearhead for the grassroots movement to legalize gold back in the 70s, which was ultimately successful in 1975. And this conference has carried on for a total of 51 years now. Mr. Blanchard has passed away at this point, but Brian London, who is a good friend of Asset Strategies, president of Jefferson Financial, and your editor of the Gold newsletter for many years. Brian continues to run this conference, and we support him. It's where the hard money movement, the gold movement in the U.S. started, and we want to be a part of that as a metals dealer. We think it's critical for all Americans to be able to hold gold in their portfolio. Overnight, some of the news going on. Democrats won elections in several key states as the first test of the Trump administration at the ballots. Virginia and New Jersey gubernatorial elections went Democratic, and the socialist Mondami won the mayoral election in New York. Meanwhile, the U.S. government shutdown, now in its 36th day, is officially the longest government shutdown in the U.S. There is a bipartisan contingent that is putting together a proposal with some compromises on health care, but it remains to be seen if that will even be considered by the Republicans, who stress they want a clean continuing resolution. They can discuss health care afterward. Democrats are unwilling to do that, and Republicans are so far unwilling to accept compromises. So the standoff continues. Overnight, a UBS strategist came out and said, despite the pullbacks in precious metals over the past few weeks, individual investors need to continue to hold gold in their portfolio. They suggested mid-single digits gold ownership in a portfolio as a percentage of overall. And they suggest that this dip is going to be temporary. There is support, although there is possibility of further leg down in the short term. Long term, there's no question we're going higher, and they look to a $4,200 next step. Let's take a look at the numbers over the past week. Gold is down 1.4% on the week at $3,967.20 an ounce. It was $4,024.20 an ounce last week. Silver's down 1.5% to $47.60. It was $48.31 last week. Platinum's down 4.5%, the big loser out of the metals complex this week, to $1,541 an ounce. It was $1,613 an ounce last week. And palladium is down 1.2%, trading at $1,416 an ounce. It was $1,433 an ounce last week, with silver slightly underperforming gold, dipping a hair deeper than gold did over the past week. It's going to take more ounces of silver to buy that ounce of gold, but not much. The gold-silver ratio sits today at 83.34. It was 83.30 last week. And finally, the U.S. dollar continues to flex its muscles, and for the first time in a while, it is above 100 on that traditional U.S. dollar index as it compares the dollar to some major trading partners. It's sitting at 100.16 this morning. It was 98.83 last week. So the bottom line is I agree with the analyst or the strategist from UBS. And here on the ground in New Orleans, I got to tell you, it's one of the most upbeat climates we've seen in many years, and with good reason. Gold and silver and the other metals have done well over the past year. Mining stocks are even outperforming the precious metals physically over the past year, and the prognosis looks good, because I'll remind you, even though the price has changed, nothing, absolutely nothing fundamentally has changed for gold or for silver. precious metals in general. The issues that drove gold to where it is now still remain. Indicators suggesting that we're seeing an end of the bull market are nowhere to be found. These are dips to be embraced. This is not the end of the bull market to be feared. We want you to go ahead and keep in mind that Brian London, the host of the New Orleans Investment Conference, will be our guest for our final On the Move webinar of the year. Adrian Day and I will welcome Brian London on Wednesday, November 19th. Please join us at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We will be talking about all the things we've seen and discussed here over the past week. But in the meantime, we want you to go ahead and follow us on YouTube, subscribe to our channel, like us, send us your comments and questions, follow us on social media, take our twice weekly, always something interesting alerts, and our once monthly information line newsletter, which comes out tomorrow. And in the end, don't ever forget that getting rich starts with keeping what's yours.